So when I was 24 years old, I was working as a restaurant manager. I've been managing for a couple of years, and I probably made about $36 to $38,000 a year. And what's interesting about my life at 24, I had two kids and a wife by then, and I was the sole household income. And of course, I made it work. I was budgeting as best I can, but I always felt like I was treading water. I never had any money in my savings account, and I felt like no matter what I was doing, no matter how hard I worked, I wasn't getting any closer to financial freedom. At the end of this video, I'm going to reveal 3 books that are going to help you accelerate your wealth tremendously faster than you could ever do before. And I'm going to give you this one secret in just a moment that's going to transform your life forever. So I'm Chris Moore, and I'm an intentional investor. And what that means to me is that I'm very intentional about what I do in life, where I spend my resources, where I invest my resources, which is time, money, and wisdom. And when I invest my resources, they pay a return. Because as an investor, my main focus is to use my resources and leverage those to get more resources rather than having to trade my time for money. And I get to be intentional about what I do in the world. I don't have to go work a job. I don't have to go clock in or work for somebody else because I have control of my future. So let me tell you about this secret. Number 1, income will never get you rich. Every year you start making more money, right? And as you make more money, something called inflation and cost of living just continues to catch up. Think of it a linear line graph, right? And every single year, you're getting a little bit higher on a pretty gentle slope. Every year you make a little bit more money, but also that cost of living and inflation curve is kicking your butt and catching up. So chasing more income, trying to make more money every single year, well, you have to or you're not gonna be able to survive. That's not how you do it. So let me introduce you to a concept called surges of income. So surges of income is something that literally blew my entire mind when I heard about it the first time. I can remember I was listening to Grant Cardone's 55-minute rant on Audible called The Millionaire Booklet. And you could listen to that 5 times and may not even get the same thing I got out of it, but what hit me dead in the forehead was surges of income. He explained in this book that he figured out young that you could not get rich on income, that you had to have surges of income coming in on top of what you make on a monthly basis, because your monthly income is already allocated towards your life expenses in your car and your house or your rent and your food and your entertainment and your Netflix bill, right? You have to have more income on top of what you already make every single month to really be able to get ahead. And to get surges of income, there's really only 4 things that you need to do to be able to tap into surges of income. And I've actually focused my entire life and my professional career on those 4 things. And I'm going to share those with you right now. Number 1, you get surges of income when you're able to sell a real estate property, something that's been an investment you've had for a while. Maybe it's a flip and fix. Maybe it's a long-term rental you've had for a long time that has equity in it. When you sell it, you're able to get a large amount of money at that moment. You can leverage that surge of income as a resource to generate more money. Number 2 is the sale of a business. Having a business that's worth money and selling it to somebody else will unlock a large surge of income at closing. Number 3, owning a business that's profitable where you can get profit distribution. So in most every business I own, we get profit distributions every quarter. And I mean, just in December, I had a $100,000 check that came in from one of the businesses, and I was able to go out and buy another rental property. Maybe I'll take you on a tour. That surge of income was above my normal cost of living, above my normal income I make every month from that business, allows me to invest it and make it grow. And then number 4, really launches or product launches. And that's why I've niched into digital marketing and learning how to take something and take it to market that's in high demand for high dollar, high margin, and make it a lot of money really quickly, right? So I've done product launches for millions of dollars where we were able to take home a large percentage of that as profit as owners of this business. And that's how you can get surges of income. You need to pay attention to this. If you want to get to the next level in life, if you want to escape having to work for someone else for the rest of your life, you're going to have to learn how to make surges of income at some point, because you're not going to be able to pile enough resources to be able to have your resources leveraged to make it grow. You're going to be trading time for dollars for a very long time. And that's okay. Actually, most millionaires in the United States do work for somebody else. And there's like a 30-year period of savings and IRAs and compounding interest that has to happen to make you wealthy and be a millionaire. But so many more younger people like myself are reaching this status faster because they're tapped into surges of income. They understand how to make it rain. They learned how to make large amounts of money quickly, whether it's profit distributions, like I said, real estate transactions, the sale of a business, or niching into something where you can sell a lot of something very quickly in the form of a launch or an event. The first step to take to get started towards getting surges of income in your life is you have to learn about it. Learn about the different options available. Should I start investing in real estate? Should I start a business? Should I buy a business? How do I get a business in myself that has profit where I can earn distributions above and beyond my income? Is this a side hustle? What is it? But I think the biggest thing to focus on is the term investor. Remember, investors leverage their resources to make them more money, to buy them more time, and to be able to have the ability to be intentional about what they do. So the biggest thing to do to start is understand, what does it take to be an investor? So I can remember the first time I ever got a huge check. I was at a real estate closing, and I sold real estate for a long time. I was making pretty decent commissions for years until I stopped selling and we had a team instead. But I remember that first time I got handed a big check when I sold a property that I owned for 3 or 4 years. I made $186,000 off that one real estate sale. In that moment, I was like, whoa. All these things rushed through my head. I was thinking about, am I going to pay taxes on this? I was thinking, should I take my family on a vacation? Then I stopped and said, I have a resource in my hands right now. I can do one of two things. I can spend my resource and I'll never have it again. It'll never come back to me. Or number two, I can invest this resource and it can pay dividends for a long time. So I took that money, I put it into some other properties, and I just shifted equity from here over to 2 other properties. And I was able to buy 2 properties from that one transaction. That allowed me to build equity twice as fast. And I think the big thing for you is at some point you're going to get to the point, if you chase this, if you go after this, if you're intentional and focus on learning how to generate surges of income, you're going to come to that moment where you have a chance to spend it and piss it away, or you have a chance to be disciplined and have willpower and put your money to work for you, so you don't always have to trade in your time for money in the future. In general, once you tap into surges of income, it's important to remember that you have your steady income as well. This should not replace what you currently do to make a living. You need to live off of your current income and only invest the surges of income. That's really important, because the last thing you want to do is start making gains and raising your net worth by these surges of income and then just get spend happy and throw it away. So I'm hoping one day that you're going to look me up and call me and say, Chris, I just made my first 100 grand profit distribution. I sold a property. What should I do with it? So let me tell you, if you've got some debts maybe that have been hanging over your head and you want to wipe those clean, go ahead and do it. I would not just pay off debt completely with a big surge of income like that, because that's a leveraged asset that you can go out and generate more income producing assets from it. So maybe pay off some debt, but reinvest it into more property, reinvest it into something that's going to pay a return, not just something that's going to help you save on some interest. And then beyond that, I mean, depending on where you are in life, do something nice for yourself. I remember this last time I got a big check in December. I bought a Mercedes and I put $20,000 down on it. I wasn't going to pay all cash because I'm not going to leverage all my cash for something like that when I could leverage it for a low interest rate, right? But the big thing is to not just spend it, because when you spend a resource, I'll say it one more time, when you spend a resource, it doesn't come back. Invest the resources that you're given, invest the resources that you earn, because resources invested pay return. So as I promised at the beginning of the video, there's 3 books that I would recommend that you read that's going to really help you understand these concepts and put this into action. Number 1, it's called Wink and Grow Rich. Wink and Grow Rich, not Think and Grow Rich. It's written by Roger Hamilton, and it's really like a 2-hour parable about a young boy in Britain, and he's on his way to the well of wealth. And there's a lot of things that you'll learn in that book. So I want you to read it, listen to it a couple times. You try to buy it on Amazon, it's like $300. So just buy it on Audible. Listen to it, you won't regret it. It does seem a little cryptic, but trust me, you're going to get a lot out from it. Number 2, The Millionaire Booklet by Grant Cardone. Another thing I think that's very powerful to listen to on Audible. You can buy it from wherever you want, but it's a very powerful book that really first introduced me to the concept of surges of income, and I think you're really going to enjoy that as well. And what Grant Cardone does in that book is he kind of breaks down what $1 million is and how to be a millionaire, and really what does that mean. One of the first things he says is, hey, $1 million isn't enough anymore. To be really considered wealthy, you need to have $10 million in net worth. So that's what everyone's shooting for. But he breaks it down and makes it seem much more obtainable. So if that's not something that's ever even been able to cross your mind, because you're in a jar and you look up and you see a lid, let's take the lid off. I want you to look out and see how big the world can be. Read The Millionaire Booklet, help Grant Cardone, or let Grant Cardone teach you about what it takes to be a millionaire and all the different ways to do it. It blew my mind. It opened my entire world. And the third book that I'd encourage you to read is something called Tony Robbins' Money master the game. Because what happens in life is most people don't really understand money. They don't understand how to use it, how to leverage it, how to save it, how to invest it. And what Tony Robbins does is he breaks it down in this book that's probably as thick as like the size of my coffee cup. It's huge. But take time and read it, because you'll expand your mind so much, and you have so much new perspective around money, investment, saving, wealth, things that you'll never know until you're exposed to it. And I think it will change your life like it did for me. Thanks for sticking to the end. If you've made it this far, I'd ask you to please subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, hit like, because the best thing you can do for yourself is train YouTube's algorithm to bring you more of my videos and bring more videos like this that can literally change your life, where you're not just watching funny cat videos or fail memes, but you're watching something that's going to take you to the next level, because you are worth investing in, and I believe in you.